Welcome back to another episode of Books and Beers. So if you follow what we do in this channel, you know that for the last 2 videos that I've posted, I've kind of been going over what to invest in your Roth IRA. Now, the first video that I covered, I talked about passive and actively managed funds. And then in the next one, I broke down into easy, medium, and hard levels that you can use in choosing what to invest on in your Roth IRA, and actually share my own way of investing in my personal Roth IRA. But in my last video, like I mentioned, I said that 10% of my Roth IRA is saved for a category that I called fun stonks. The name purposely has fun and the word stonks, not stocks, but stonks, just so I can actually have fun and kind of make an educated gamble into a few industries that I think are gonna have a value in the future. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna share the 3 industries that I think that have value that I'm personally investing in my Roth IRA. Let's hit it. I'm still in Colombia, by the way. I'm currently in Medellin. So I'm going to be having a Club Colombia, which is like, I'd say the most famous beer here in Colombia. If you're new to the channel, that's what we do here. We have a beer while we talk about intellectual topics like investing in your Roth IRA. Whew. The first one is artificial intelligence. I started learning about artificial intelligence because I needed to for my workplace. But also, I remember watching a video of a YouTuber called Mark Roeder, where he explains what artificial intelligence is and makes it very simple. Now, if you haven't seen this video, I'm gonna put it here and I'm gonna put in the link in the description. So if you don't understand that much about what artificial intelligence is, I really recommend you that you check it out. The gist of it is that computers are getting more and more smart and gonna start taking more and more jobs away from humans. Now, how fast that is, that's TBD, but I know it's gonna happen sooner or later. So I did my research and I narrowed it down to 3 funds that I'm gonna put right here. Now, the ARK funds are very well known and are very famous, especially during the pandemic, but I discarded that one because it was actively managed and I didn't love it so much. For the last 2, I had BOTS, which is a passively managed ETF, and I had the other one, which is a Fidelity mutual fund. I ended up choosing BOTS because it's more focused in AI and robotics, different than the mutual fund of Fidelity that was a little focused in technology overall. So that's for AI. The second category is electric vehicle. This is kind of a hard gamble for me because I'm originally from Venezuela, and Venezuela, as many of you know, is the country that has the biggest oil reserves in the world. But besides oil prices getting higher every year and oil being a non-renewable resource, countries and companies are just starting to shift towards investments that are better for the environment. And when it comes into EV versus oil, EV is gonna win the entire time. So I broke it down into the 2 main electric vehicle ETFs, which I love both because they're both passively managed and track an index. And I ended up deciding to go with IDRV because it has a lower expense ratio and it's managed by BlackRock, which in my opinion is a more well-established company than the other company. So that's EV. And the last one is space. And this is one that was also heavily influenced by a video that I watched on YouTube. And it was a presentation given by Jeff Bezos where he explains that humans are growing at such a rapid pace that there's gonna come a point where we're gonna have to explore places outside of Earth because we're simply not gonna fit all on Earth. And I also found it very similar to Thanos in Avengers, where, at least in my understanding, he wants half of the world to disappear because there's just not enough space. And I narrowed it down to ROKT and UFO, which, by the way, UFO has like the best ticker for an ETF from space. They both follow index funds, they're both passively managed, which I really like, but ROKT also has a big portion of the ETF dedicated into like deep space research and exploration, I think. And I really just wanted to be exposed to space. So I ended up going with UFO, which impressively also has like the highest expense ratio of my entire portfolio, sitting at 0.75%, which is exactly the limit that I gave in my first video. So I have 10% of my portfolio that I'm gonna dedicate into these 3 ETFs, and I still don't know how much I'm gonna put for each one, but it's probably gonna be around the same amount for all 3 of them. And that's it. Like I said, these are all educated guesses. There's a very high chance that I was better off just investing in mutual funds. However, these are a few industries that I think are gonna have a value in the future, and I'm down to just taking a little more risk in hopes of making a little bigger return. If there are any other industries you think are gonna have a value in the future, leave them in the comments and I'll definitely do a video in the future about it. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe because we'll definitely keep doing videos like this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Peace.